Hi there, Terry here from DotPointz. Today we're going to talk about what you do if you find yourself in the workplace and you don't like people in the workplace, either a couple or some or a lot. So stick around for some tips on how to manage that. So the first point is around this is that you actually don't have to like your colleagues to work with them. You're a professional, right? So just like in life and maybe in your own family, you're not going to like everybody. But in the workplace, it's important that you learn how to work with everybody. So the first thing that I would encourage you to remember is, and it's quite an important point, not everybody likes you either. And that might come as a surprise because we all like to think that we're likable and why wouldn't someone like us? But just as you've got your preferences, know that others have theirs, and it's just a really good grounding point to note that, hey, we might not all like each other, but it's really important that we get along and that we're professional. The next thing that I would suggest is if you don't like somebody in the workplace, just keep it to yourself. Don't tell others, don't share it with someone who you even might trust in the workplace. People always talk, always. So just realize that anything that you share with someone in the workplace, you have to do it knowing that that person is very likely to tell someone else. So you don't need that. So if you have your preferences, keep them to yourself, and it always helps your working relationships. The next thing to remember is that you should always have respect for the other person's point of view. And what that does is help you to be more open-minded, and you're able to accept that, hey, they bring something different to the table. It enables you to collaborate with someone in spite of how you might feel about them personally. The next thing to remember is that you not liking somebody is your problem and not their problem. And it's often based on a really thin premise, right? So there are complex things about human beings and about our own psychology that even we don't understand. In other words, you might not like someone because while you're not conscious of the reason why you don't, they might remind you in a mannerism, for example, if someone who might have bullied you back in primary school. Now, I'm just saying this as an example, but the fact is often it's your problem and your challenge and nothing to do with the other person. And the premise upon which you don't like them might not even be substantiated in reality. So just understand that it's not about them, it's about you. And so you need to manage that and take ownership of that because it's your responsibility. And the last thing to remember is, I guarantee, this is always the way it goes in the workplace, that that person you don't like, I guarantee that somewhere along the line in the period of your employment, you might be in a project or on a project team, or you might need to deliver something to your boss. You are going to need the help of that person who you happen not to like. So why do I mention that particular example? It is in your best interests, therefore, to always have positive relationships with people, regardless of how you might personally feel about them or their personality or their work habits, because I guarantee that that one person you don't like, you'll need to ask them for their assistance to help you on something that you're doing in your role. So don't burn your bridges. Don't show dislike for someone, particularly if in your heart of hearts you know it's not a rational reason why you feel that way, and you will improve your workplace relationships and collaborations and maintain that professional brand. Be well in the workplace today.